Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is part two of the Plaza Olvera tour, and we're gonna start off at the America Tropical Intrepid Center, which is right next to the Sepulveda House Museum. And this is a mural painted by Alvaro Siqueiros, one of the three main painters in Mexico, besides Jose Clemente Orozco and Diego Rivera. Those were the three main mural painters in Mexico in the 1930s. This mural was painted in 1932 by David Siqueiros, and it actually represents the U.S. imperialism, oppressing, like Latin Americans. You're gonna see a peon, an Indian peon crucified, and then you're gonna see an egg on top of it. And if you can look at then you're gonna look to the right, to the left, to its left, and then you're gonna see, a Mexican farmer and a Peruvian farmer, and then they look that they're ready to fight against the oppression or the oppressor, the U.S. imperialists. And so people didn't like it back in the 1930s. People didn't like it. They felt uncomfortable, and so they decided to whitewash the whole thing until it was rediscovered later, in the 1960s. If you start by the plaza on Main Street, you're gonna see this building called the Simpson Jones Building, built in 1894, and it was constructed to accommodate William Gregory Indians. Before this building was constructed, there was an adobe building, but since they widened Abad Street, which became Main Street later on, they had to demolish it. These are basically the same buildings that were facing Olvera Street, but this side is facing the Main Street, and the building facing on this side of Main Street were usually warehouses or businesses. Most of these facades hasn't changed that much since they were built in the early 1900s. And as you walk around this area, you're gonna see these plaques that look like a pyramid. It explain to you, the kind of building and the style. The building coming up, for example, is the Sepulveda house. You see that one with those windows right there? Yeah, she built the house in the Isla Victoria style. It has some really good details, really nice, beautiful details. You can appreciate really close. And then the building in the corner is gonna be the Italian American Museum of Los Angeles. Not this one, but the next one. This one, I can't remember what building was it. I don't know if it's the Hamel building or what. But this hasn't changed for a very long time since they were built, like I said before. Now you see the stuff on the roof, on the second floor. Well, that's where the David Alvaro Siqueiros mural is at, and this is the Italian American Museum of Los Angeles. In the early days, it served as a Italian community center. They used to have gatherings, used to have like events, and it's free to get in. I see some kind of exhibitions. This mosaic that you see here is the original since it was built in 1908. And then you go to the second floor. The window on the right, this window here, it was installed in 1902, so it's still the original window frame and everything. And inside, you're gonna have, like the most prominent Italian Americans, became famous. This was also the place where Ricardo Flores Magon gave his last speech. And now back to the plaza. On the south side of the plaza, you're gonna see the first buildings, like the first, like here you're gonna see the first firehouse in Los Angeles. This one here coming up. It is the oldest fire station in Los Angeles, and it was built in 1984, and it served until 1897. After that, it had other uses. It became a drugstore at one point. It was a saloon, and then it was a cigar store, even a hotel, and possible a brothel too. Now it's a small museum about the firehouse, because it had displays of the firefighting techniques that they had before, the carriage, hoses and stuff like that. And I think this part of the Garner Museum. I mean, I'm sorry for the Garner Building. I think this is where the Chinese American Museum is located at, and this is one of the original buildings left from the old Chinatown. It's located in this alley. You see this alley here. I don't know what the name of this alley, but this is where the American Chinese Museum is at. And unfortunately, I couldn't get inside, because it was closed. And the security guard told me to come the next day. I think it opened around 9 to 2 or something. That one, you see the one in the middle, and that's when the security guard caught me. But anyway, this is a Pico House, built in 1869 to 1870. It belonged to Pio Pico, one of the last governor of Alta California, the last Mexican governor of Alta California. And this hotel was considered one of the most extravagant luxury hotels in Southern California at the time. It was the first three-story building in Los Angeles. In order to build this hotel, Pio Pico and his brother sold most of the land holdings in San Fernando Valley. He used to own a lot of land in San Fernando Valley, and so they sold the land and they got a loan from the bank. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to pay it, and so the bank took it, and then the bank sold it later on. The buildings in front of this one, the Brownsville building, and the other one, I can't remember the name of it. That one were built in 1980s, and they're a museum right now. It talks about the exhibition is about the old plaza, the history of the old plaza. And this is a Pio Pico hotel still, and as you can see, it's the Italian architectural style, and it used to have 33 rooms. And this building here is the Merced Theater. It's the oldest theater in Los Angeles. It was built in the 1870s, and it was active from 1871 to 1876. The first floor, that's where the family used to have the furniture store, and then the second floor they used it for the theater, and then the third floor, that's where the family used to live at. They have a connecting corridor from the hotel, Pio Pico Hotel, to the theater. After 1876, after the building was a theater, after 1876 the building became a place for burlesque and shows, and then after a few years later, it shut down. Now I'm gonna make a ride on Arcadia Street, and I'm gonna take you to a place that is called the more pioneer memorial, and that's where a fort used to be at during the Mexican American War in 1847. And they built the fort there because they had a sweeping view of all Los Angeles, all town Los Angeles. In early Los Angeles, in the 1800s, there were a lot of lynchings around this place. This hill here, it was bigger, and there used to be a cemetery here. In 1836, they killed two lovers by a firing squad. There were other lynchings too. For example, Francisco Cota, he was hanged, stabbed and hanged in Alameda and El Aliso Street. And here's the Fort Moore Pioneer Memorial. This is where, in August 13, 1846, Commodore Robert Stockton raised the U.S. flag for the first time in I think in Los Angeles, yes, in Los Angeles. And this is where the fort used to be at. There were two forts. The first time, uh, the Mexican Californians revolted against Felisti, and so they came back from other troops from San Francisco, and they got defeated, and then they went to San Diego, and the American forces regrouped in San Diego, and they came back and retook Los Angeles again. Here in this place also is where the Chinese nationals were buried during they were lynched during the Chinese massacre of 1871, where 18 to 19 people, 19 Chinese nationals, were hanged or lynched, and they were buried here in this area. And there were other lynchings too around this place. For example, in the 1850s, you have Reyes Félix, Doroteo Zabaleta, Jesus Rivas, you got Ignacio Herrera, Juan Flores, Pancho Daniel, Thomas King. All those guys were like lynched or hanged around this place. From this place, you can barely see, the Plaza Olvera from this area here. That's what I try to do, try to get a shot from. Remember in the 90s, when I came here in the 90s, these apartment complex weren't there. They were only parking spaces. And from this place, you can see all the way to, you can see the church, you can see the plaza, you can see the hotel. You can barely see the Pio Pico Hotel from here. But all this area here, it was empty. They were parking lots at that time in the 1990s, at least early 2000. You can have a feel of why they chose this place to build a fort. You're able to see the whole thing, the whole area. Now we're going back to the plaza on Main Street. On the left, you're gonna see Brunswick Building, 1880s. It was built in 1880, I believe, and it's a museum. It has its exhibitions about the Pueblo de Los Angeles, and the building next to it as well. Next to these buildings, you're gonna see the cemetery. Usually, when you have a church or a mission, they usually have the cemetery right next to it. And here, this is where Maria del Rosario Villa and Gervasio Alipas were buried after they were killed in the firing squad. There were other people buried here too. There were Native Americans here too. People actually, a lot of the people that were lynched, they were buried here too. And this is the old Plaza Church. It was built in 1814, but actually they moved it twice because it was flooded by the river. So this one's about in the 1820s maybe, and it's been in service for the same purpose since it was built. And pues, this is it for today. Thank you for watching my video. Hope you like this. This is what you're gonna see in the Plaza Olvera if you come here with the family. There's a lot of history behind it. There's a couple of museums that you can check out. Um, but thank you for watching my video. Hope you liked it. Thank you, and I'll see you, next adventure, the next video. Well, take care of yourself, guys. Thank you.